Good afternoon, students. Once again, you are welcome back to today's lecture on methods of teaching JSS mathematics. Last time, we talked about integers, and the focus was on the operations on integers. We discussed how we can do addition on the number line as far as integers are concerned. We also talked about subtraction. We are left with two operations, which are the multiplication and that of division. So this afternoon, our focus is going to be on the multiplication and that of the division. When we are done with that, we shall move on to the next unit, which talks about fractions of uncommon numbers. Okay, so for the multiplication, let's look at this. If I have 2 multiplying 4, one can say that this can also be termed as 4 groups of 2. 4 groups of 2, which means that we are going to have 4 groups. But in each of the group, we're going to have 2 objects in it. So when we are done with that, we can count the number of objects that will be found in the 4 baskets, or the 4 objects there. And when we know that, we see that it's going to get us 8. Now, when it comes to the issue of the multiplication of integers, we are just going to use the same approach. This is why we call it repeated addition. And you should also take note of the fact that multiplication is about repeated addition. But we are not going to do it in this way. Once we are at the JSS level, we want to focus on how we can use the number line to model this particular question on the board, which is 2 times 4. And so we can use the number line to model it. And so how are we going to do that? And so if I have positive 2 times positive 4, how are we going to do that? So I want to use the number line to model this expression on the board. And let's look at how it is going to be done. You have a number line drawn, you have a 0 there, then equally spaced intervals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so forth. So how are we going to guide our children to demonstrate to us that 2 times 4 is equal to a certain number? Okay? So what we are going to do is that on the number line, once again we are going to start the journey from the 0. So we begin from here. But look at this one, is 4 groups of 2. So here what we are going to do is that we are going to start from the 0, but every movement we make, we are going to jump 2 steps. So it's going to be 2 steps. And then we are going to jump 2 steps 4 times. So we are going to start from the 0 here, and we jump 2. The next jump 2 steps again. The next jump 2 steps again, until we get to the 4th jump. And where are we landing? We are landing on the 8th. And this is telling us that if I have 2, positive 2, and I multiply by positive 4, it is going to give me positive 8. Now, in the same vein, if I also have negative 2 times, say, positive 3, how do we model this on the number line? this one too, we are going to use the same approach. You draw the number line with equally spaced intervals. Okay? And so once again, we are going to begin the journey from the 0 now. Let's look at this number. It's a negative number. So the direction is that we are going to face the negative direction. What it means is that we face the negative direction and move 2 steps. So each journey that we are going to take is going to cover 2 steps. And we are going to go how many times? 3 times. So wherever we land is going to be the answer. So they will begin from 0 here and jump 2 steps away. The first step is 1, landing on this. The next jump, then the last jump. See. And you will notice that negative 2 times positive 3 is giving you negative 6. So these are the ways that we are going to guide our kids to do most of these things. Now, we can also do this by using some patterns. Sometimes, if it involves 2 negatives, they become so cumbersome. And so we want to get there. So we can use some pattern to do that. Let's take, for instance, I want to do positive 4 times 2, positive 2. So I can begin by using this particular pattern. So I can start by making it, say, positive 2 times positive 2. Positive 4 times positive 2. Then when I come, I'm going to reduce this number. So I'm going to make a positive 3. You reduce positive 2. Positive 1. So you are going to reduce 2. From positive 1, it comes to 0. Okay, I'll end there. I'll continue from there. And then when we are multiplying, the focus is multiplying by 2. So it's going to be by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 2, then multiply by 2. Let's look at what we are going to get. For the first one, because you have taken them through this number line approach, they will be able to tell you this particular answer. And this one is going to give you positive 8. Then we come to this one, it's giving you positive 6. This is going to give you positive 4. This gives you positive 2. And this one is going to give you 0. Now, they will start thinking about the next numbers. What will be the pattern, what will be the behavior of the next numbers. Okay? So let's look at it. If I should go down, you will notice that from the 0, the next number is a negative number. So I'm coming to negative 1. I'll come to negative 2. I'll come to negative 3. I'll come to negative 4, and so forth. And I am multiplying by 2. So by positive 2, by positive 2, by positive 2, and then by positive 2. So they will notice that from the 0, they are heading towards the negatives. So this one is going to give them a negative number, which is of course going to be negative 2. Now they are reducing 2 from 8, it has been reduced to 6. From 6, it reduced to 4. From 4, it reduced to 2. Then from 2, it came to 0. So they will notice that it has been reducing by what? 2. So the next number is going to be a negative number. What is negative 2? And then this time 2 is going to be reduced by 2, and they will know it's going to give them negative 4. It's going to reduce by 2, they will know it's going to give negative 6. It's going to reduce by 2, negative 8, and so forth. So once you are able to take them through these patterns, you can also give them another number like. So they will appreciate the fact that if they are in this pattern, it is reduced by 2, 2, 2, and it will enter the negatives. And when you give them another number to try, they should also follow the pattern, and it will be giving them particular numbers as well. So let's try to help them to do that. Now, if it is for negative numbers, maybe you want to multiply 2 negative numbers. If I want to multiply 2 negative numbers, that one is so cumbersome to use concrete materials to do. And so we can also go by the same pattern that I've introduced to you here. Okay? So let's look at something. Let's take, for instance, I want to find the answer to negative 2 multiplied by negative 4. I want to find the answer to this. This one I cannot easily model it on the number line. Okay? So at that level, you can introduce them to this particular pattern. And the pattern we can start from somewhere. Let's assume I want to start from negative 2 multiplying positive 3. Let me start from here. Then I'll reduce to, I'll maintain this one, negative 2. Then I'm going to reduce this number here. So I'm going to reduce this one to say 2. I'll maintain this one, and then reduce this one to number 1, positive 1. I'll maintain this one, then reduce this number to 0. I'll maintain this one, then reduce this number from 0. They will know that they are going to negative 1. So they are now entering the negatives. Okay? So I'm going to reduce this one, I'm going to maintain this one, reduce this one to negative 2. They are still reducing. Then I'll maintain this one, then reduce this one to negative 3. Maintain it. Reduce this one to negative 4. So it will follow in that pattern. Let's look at the results here. Earlier we have taught them that this one is about repeated addition or something like that. So here we are looking at forming 2's 3 times. Okay? So that is it. So here they will notice that the answer is going to give them negative 6. When we come here, they will notice that the answer is going to give them negative 4. When we come here, they will notice that the answer is going to give them negative 2. Then when we come here, the answer is going to give them 0. Now here it is from smaller numbers, and it is coming down. So from 0, they will know that they started from negatives, they are getting to 0. So they are now entering the positives. And so this one is going to give them a positive number, which is positive 2. Then they come here. It is now going to increase in 2's. So this one is going to give them positive 4. When they come here, it is also increasing. This one is going to give them positive 6. And when they come here, it's also going to give them positive 8. So they can continue on. And then when they are done with that, it is there they can draw their conclusions that when we multiply a negative by a positive result, the answer is going to give you a negative number. And they also identify that when you multiply a negative number by a negative number, the result is going to give you a positive number. So they have to go through these activities before they can make those generalizations. And when they are done with that, they will know how to multiply integers. Okay. So now we are done with the multiplication, and the focus is going to be on